I am a child, a type of Lyran child. There's this room in the big castle, big sort of castle area. There's many different rooms in the castle.
And as you integrate fully in this castle, as this Lyran child, you sense if you're alone or if someone is there with you.
I think it is my mother. I think it's some kind of it feels like royalty of some kind, royal family of some kind. And they put me in the bassinet sometimes, and then they carry me around. The inside of the castle is quite dark. I don't know why it's so dark. Wish it wasn't so dark because I can see entities around. I can see things. I'm very aware, very psychic. I think I'm a girl.
Yes. And as the psychic girl sees these dark ones, do you know if you have power, can protect yourself from these beings?
Oh, my dad is one of these gray skin Orion beings. These ones. These. My dad is one of these beings. That's unusual. And my mom looks like a regular Lyran being, and then the dad he is one of this other species. I am a type of a hybrid, I think. That's why there's dark stuff in this castle, because this is strange, because this is the Dark Elves castle. But my mom is a regular Lyran, and then the father is one of the Dark Lyrans. She is a different type of Lyran. I do not know how she feels about this. Sometimes she is quite sad, it seems sometimes. And my father is very pleased with me, pleased that I have been born. And I am one of the royalty of this species. But also a hybrid. Their planet seems cold. It's quite cold. They wear warm clothing and have many guards everywhere. There is a sense of royalty and tradition as I'm a baby or child and look around.
Yes. As you look around, can you see it? Is there anything else you need to understand about the scene? Why your mother is so sad? And how come your dad is a dark elf and she is a regular elf?
I think she was taken to there against her will. Something to do with the bloodline they needed.
Good. Very good. Now close that scene. Close that scene. In a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, we are going to travel through a tunnel of time. Through time and space to another important day in this lifetime that we are viewing, that we need to see today. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, you will be there. 3, traveling to time. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. Allow the images to flow up from your soul as you orient yourself in this new place and tell me what you see.
There is these other children that have been like, and I'm a child too, and I'm meeting some of these other children. There's like a boy, and my father is saying that, some of these suitors, and like I'm kind of like maybe like around 12 years old. They seem quite shy. It's like another sort of gray skin elf boy, dark elf boy. I I get distracted and I choose to read books instead. My father is saying that I should be interested in this. I should be interested in choosing a mate, but I'm really not. I prefer to read a book. We have lots of books in the castle. I like to read all of the books. And I see sometimes there's some books that are forbidden that I try to read. And then, like my father gets very angry at the servants for not stopping me from reading the books. And I'm just seeing that he orders the servants to be beaten. And they get beaten because I decided to read a forbidden book. And I don't, like he knows that I'm very, very clever, but he wishes that I wasn't so interested in knowledge. I was more interested in this type of thing. He shakes his head. And he's like, knowledge is important, but this is too advanced for you. And forbidden stuff. Like I was reading a book on like very dark topics. And even though our species appears to be negatively oriented, he will not let me read too much books, too many of the books that we have. He's just saying it gives me too many ideas, the wrong sort of ideas. But I just read it for education purposes. He's just saying that, he gets annoyed at this because, these suitors are invited around all of the time, but for me to get used to them, so that later they will take me to their particular castle. But I get annoyed when my father says that I should not be more knowledgeable than my mate. It's a very hierarchical sort of society.
Please tell me more about that.
Well, my father is above everyone. He is above everyone. He is like the Lord. He is above everyone. He's above my mother. He's above all of the servants. Everyone respects him. He favors me, so I am spared from his wrath, because I am a very clever child. and he likes me very much. But he says, like the books that I read are too dark for children. Wait until you're older for something like that. But I've been reading the books because it educates me on these creepy things that I see around the castle. And I can see them very well, but not everyone can see them as well as I can. They're just very dark, they're dark entities that hang around this castle. And they sometimes attach onto people and torments them and stuff like this. And I was talking to some of these ones and finding out more in the books.
This information in the books that your dad doesn't want you to read. What is it about?
Mm. It's about this very dark magic that they use to enslave others. There's very sort of systems that they use to enslave others. I wanted to know about it. And my dad is sometimes using these books. Sometimes doing these type of things to the rest of the population. And I am observing. And I'm observing him, observing everyone. Just watching. My mom is of the light. That's why she is sad.
And you?
Me?
Yes, your mom is of the light.
Mm.
And your dad is working black magic.
Mm.
How do you feel?
Mm. Mm. My spirit is rebellious, but my dad doesn't know. My soul is of the light, but my dad doesn't know. He thinks that because I am reading books on such dark topics that I must be very interested in it. But there is something within me that he's looking at this to, I guess, gain an advantage. There are higher parts of me that are doing things.
And what other things?
I can't see it at this point.
Very good.
But I just have a feeling.
Yes. Then let's close that scene. Close that scene. In a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, we are going to travel through a tunnel of time to another important day in this lifetime that we need to see today. As I count backwards from 3 to 1, you will be there. 3, traveling through time. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. Allow the images to flow up from your soul as you orient yourself in this new place and tell me what you see.
My dad has shut me in the room with the suitor, the boy that was always coming over. He's shut me in a room with this he's a young man now and I'm a young woman. He shut me in the room and he's just like, I do not want you to leave this room until you have mated with the suitor. And then the suitor is the other. He is a prince, and he is just sitting in my room, and I'm sitting there, and we are looking at each other, and it's just like we are like, oh, what do we do next, type of a thing. And I start to I'm telling this prince jokes. I'm telling him some jokes to just make it less awkward, this whole situation. Because even though he has come over many times, he is very shy, this prince, and he doesn't communicate very much telepathically. And so I'm looking at him and he is looking at me, and I'm trying to lighten the mood by telling some jokes. Because I know my father, he is going to be furious if nothing happens, if nothing takes place. So eventually we come to an agreement that we are going to have to mate with each other. And I try to infuse humor into this to make the situation less awkward. So this is done. The deed is done, and we are just hanging around and waiting. There's one of the guards that sits in the room and has to watch through a peephole to see if we are doing what we are supposed to be doing. And then this guard comes out and then he tells my father that it has been done. So my father is very, very pleased. Very, very pleased. Very happy. He's he he doesn't beat the servants too much on this day. He's very happy. And it appears that he gets drunk on some type of liquid. I don't know if it's alcohol or something else. He consumes a substance and it makes him very happy. And there's lots of merrymaking and food and gifts. There's gifts given to me. A small animal is given to me. Type of like a lizard type of a thing. And he is so happy. And my mother is she is just quiet. She's quiet. It's all very strange. And the prince is just sitting at the table and eating with us as well. And it's all very, very interesting. There's a big kind of feast type of a thing. And there's a big beast that is cooked and eaten. I don't know what this beast is. Looks like a deer type of a thing. Some kind of animal. I'm not quite sure. It's very big though. It's laid out on the table.
Is there something else that is important to understand about the scene?
No, not particularly.
Very good. Now close that scene. Close that scene. In a moment, I'm going to count you backwards from 3 to 1. And as I count you backwards from 3 to 1, we are going to travel to a tunnel of time. Travel to a tunnel of time. To the last day of the life on this one, in this lifetime that we're seeing. And you will have no physical sensations whatsoever. That's very important. You will have no physical sensations whatsoever when you're viewing this last day in this lifetime. And you can move out of your body and watch the rest of the lifetime as if it were happening to someone else. Almost if it was a movie. And as I count you backwards from 3 to 1, you will be there. 3, traveling to time. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. You will feel no physical sensation and you can view it as someone else. And tell me what you see.
I haven't traveled to the last day of my life. No.
No. You're in another important scene.
Yeah.
What do you need to see?
There is this prince has been wedded to me. This dark elf prince, and I have his baby now, and I am being sent away to different castle, a different sort of place kingdom, let's just say. I've been sent away. And it's very lonely, this new place. It's cold. It's not like my father's castle. Not like that at all. And the beings here in this royal household, they are very cold. They do not talk much with each other. I see why this one is so shy. The prince, he's very shy. He's a nice man, but essentially this has been an arranged marriage. And I do not have any say in it at all. I kind of miss the castle where I'm from. I miss my own castle. And I miss my dad as well in that castle. Because this one is very foreign. It feels very strange. There's more yucky things that go on in this castle. There's more visits from the reptilian species that they are the controllers. And they have been quick to learn that they subjugate us as well. There is a room in the castle, and there's very, very dark beings in that room. This castle is very creepy. It's creepier than the other one, the one that I grew up in. The one that I grew up in seems even warmer and nicer than this one. It's no wonder the prince is so quiet. The prince has seen the prince naked, and he has some scars on his body. Pretty sure they've been doing black magic, but not the nice kind, like the human sacrifice type of kind. And he has had to participate in this. The cuts on his body are markings from some of these rituals. Sacrifice type of rituals. And the reptilians come more into this castle. They have their own rooms, they have their own quarters, and we have our living quarters. And I am kind of concerned because I have like a child. Like I am pregnant. And so I see that I take myself away to my quarters and I keep this child away from these dark beings, these Draco beings. There's the Draco that come in occasionally, and then there's reptilians, and I take me and my child away. My husband will not do anything about it. He is very timid. He is going to to be the king. And the current king is his father, and we don't see him very often. He's doing things in a big ship away from here, a big spaceship. He's always off on missions. I am mostly concerned with protecting the child, keeping it away from this type of influence, because I know what they do. I know what they do in those rooms to children and little ones. I want to keep the energy of the baby away from that.
Yes, you want to protect your baby from what is going on in the rooms. What is going on in the rooms and how is it affecting you?
This castle is very yucky. It has a disgusting energy. It's very, very dark, and there's creatures, very demonic beings that come out at night. And I sit in my room, and I always have to protect myself and protect my baby from this, and so I often stay in there with my husband. I am very, very wary of these ones, and I tell him about all of these creepy sort of things that going on in the castle, and he agrees that sometimes he sees them too, but he's tired of me making such a big fuss about it sometimes, and I'm grabbing onto him in the night because I saw another one walking the hallways, big things with red eyes, and I glare at them and they glare at me.
Is there anything else that we need to know about this scene?
No.
Good. Then close that scene. Close that scene. I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, we travel through a tunnel of time to the last day of this lifetime that we're viewing today. 3, traveling there now. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. You will feel no physical sensations, and you can view it as if it was someone else. And tell me what you see.
It's still not the last day because I've had the child. And the child is growing up. And it's very hard I want to protect the child, but there is forces of darkness that seek to hurt the child and try to get at the child and its innocence, even though it is a dark elf child. The child is still quite innocent, and it is a boy, and my husband is he is becoming more the king now. He is doing this role because I'm seeing the other king has, the previous one, I think, had passed away and was killed in a conflict. So he has taken this role. Now I was quite clingy to my husband because I don't like the reptilian beings that go around in the castle, so I keep my son quite close to me. I keep him quite close to me, so I don't like these ones. And they look at me and the child, and it's obvious that they're just using us to enact agendas. There is really nothing that we can do. We are just pawns, even though we are the royalty. We are just pawns of these creatures. They just run amok in the castle, and I am left to try and protect my son from these things. And he has wandered into the areas of the castle which I have forbidden him to go into, and he has seen things, and he was throwing up because what he had been seen was too disgusting. So he was very upset, and I told him, and I smacked him and said, that's what you get for going into those places. I told you not to go into there. Never go into there again. You don't want to see what those sort of creatures get up to. You don't want to go into those places. I forbid you to go into their areas of the castle. So I forbid him to do it. And he is curious, but I have forbidden him to do such a thing. And I asked my husband to enforce a rule that he is not supposed to go to those areas. And still he tries to go to those areas, and I am very upset. I see that I smash a few things because I'm very upset. He has gone into these areas of the castle. And I would prefer him not to do such a thing, because I read what was in those books, read what they were doing, and I was very aware of it since I was very little. All of those dark things in those books. That's what they're doing in those rooms. The dark things that I read in the books. And so I am educating my son about what was in the books and what is being done. And he is quite confused. Like, why do we have these things in our castle? Why can't we be free? And I honestly do not have a good answer for him. And I tell him, go ask your dad. Go ask your dad. But, his dad won't really say anything. It's me that has all of the knowledge and information. His father doesn't much say anything at all. His father is just numb and traumatized. But I'm not particularly traumatized at all. I am quite, I guess, alert and aware of what is going on, not numb to anything. That is why I protect my son. I see they have involved him in one of the rituals, and I was very upset. And I was crying. Because it's very obvious that I cannot protect him fully from what is going on.
And can you sense where this castle is located and why this is happening?
This castle, this planet, feels like Orion system. Got a cold sort of planet where the winters are very long. It's kind of like a temperature like Finland all of the time. There's not very much summer, mostly winter, mostly cold. And the castle is the main sort of population center. There's like a city that's outside of the castle, like a big city. This castle is kind of like, it's like a big black cathedral looking thing. And this is where I live, part of the royal household. In this big black cathedral. And they have dungeons too in this castle. There are various beings in there in these dungeons that are enemies of the Empire. And it's the energy is very bad underneath the castle too, and I don't like living here. It's not a very nice place to live in this castle. There's not much that I can do though.
Let's close that scene. In a moment, I'm going to count you backwards from 3 to 1, traveling to time and space, to the last time in this lifetime that we're living now, or another important day that we need to see. You will feel no physical sensations at all. 3, traveling there now. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. Tell me what you see.
The reptilians have drugged my husband and I. They have drugged us to be part of this particular ritual that they are doing. And it's very very disgusting, very satanic type of a thing. And they wish for us to do disgusting things with them, and I can't believe that it has come to this. Suppose it was only so long before they involved us in these sort of things. Now that the king has gone, the king has passed away, means that he is the ruler now. And so there is rituals of a disgusting nature where they are, let's just say, they're killing innocent beings and just playing in the blood and doing rituals in this blood. Can't even see. I think the other being was like a regular sort of lion. Its throat was slit, and they are getting us to participate in this ritual, and I don't like it at all. I think it's quite disgusting. I am, just drugged, and they are leading me around, and I have to hold up the head of this lion being and parade it around in this stupid ritual. And I feel that this is so pointless and stupid. I know it is part of their black magic practices to enact, control. But I feel it is very disgusting, and I feel ashamed afterwards. Everyone's just, naked and running around. It's very undignified. I feel very exposed and very disgusted. And I have a very long bath afterwards and don't talk to anyone. Just trying to process what I saw in the blur of everything, of what happened. And, I don't feel that they have already involved my son. And this is disgusting to me. And then what am I to do? They run amok in the castle. They just basically treat everything like this is their place. And then, even though we live here, and my husband is just he's just so weak, lets them do whatever they wish to do. And he is very shy, but he is very weak. I am the strongest one here, and while he is weak, and there is some hierarchy where he is the husband is above me. My husband is above me, but I am inside. I am more powerful than him, and the reptilians know this, and they make a mockery of it. They mock him for it, saying he is the weak one. And I glare at these beings sometimes as they come across my dwelling. And they know that I do not particularly like them. And they know that, if I had it my way, they would all be dead. But, I'm just being used as a pawn at this point.
Good. Now let's close that scene. Close that scene. In a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. We travel to time and space to the last day of this lifetime that we're viewing today. I will feel no physical sensations at all. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, it will be there. 3, traveling there now. 2, almost there. And 1, be there now. You will feel no physical sensations at all. Tell me what you see.
I am just in my bed. I have lived quite a long life. It's quite a natural sort of death. And my son is grown up. He has become king, and now I am in the bed and I am saying goodbye. And I'm just happy to leave that place because that castle was so horrible and dark. So happy to leave the body. There was just so much dark energy. I drift up and then it's like my soul has to be cleaned all over from all of that dark energy. I'm just placed in a healing chamber. Even though I thought the rituals were tried to dissociate myself from them, but they continued and they affected me greatly. I grew quite sick, grew ill in my old age because of being exposed to these rituals. You can see that I just grew quite sick. And the body became quite ill from it, from being exposed to this kind of stuff, because I was just very disgusted by it. Always disgusted.
And now when you're back in this white healing light, the white light of home, light of source, where you're from, allow yourself to integrate fully and tell me more about what you feel the lesson was in that lifetime we just viewed.
It was really about experiencing the other side of the coin, experiencing that darkness. I didn't become it directly, but I just had to be able to see it in order to transmute it. In order to transmute all of the things, not all of the things, but a lot of the pain and trauma I've had about particular collectives. I needed to see and experience it in order to transmute that anger and pain and sadness. To know what it was like from the inside. So that's why I incarnated as a queen. because I was very close to the top of that power structure.
Yes. So we are going to leave that part of ourselves in the white light to continue on with their journey. We are going to leave them there, and they will continue on with their journey. And they will find what they need to find, all the healing they need to transmute all of these traumas. And I like to ask for all the consciousness of this one on the bed to reintegrate back into the body. And now I would like to ask to speak with this one's higher self. May I speak with this one's higher self?
Yes.
Thank you for speaking with us today. This one has several questions that she would like to know. But first, I want to make sure that we have transmuted all the trauma that we can today.
Yes, yes. This has been transmuted, but it was very important for her to get an insight into the other side of the darkness as well, to just get her to understand where some of these negative extraterrestrial beings are coming from.
Yes. Can you please check her body and her energy body to make sure that there's no entities or plant spirits there?
No, not at this time, no.
Is there any AI or implants?
There's just some residue in the hands and feet. I'm just going to remove that. Remove any AI residue in the body.
Beautiful, thank you. Can you make sure that there is no black magic affecting her?
Yes, there is none.
Very good. Does she have all her soul fragments returned?
Yes, yes.
Very good. And her chakras? How are they looking?
They're a little bit dulled after seeing that lifetime, so I'm just going to flush some light through them.
Beautiful, thank you. And let me know when I can continue.
Yes, you can continue.
Thank you. While you make sure to transmute to check all our chakras so they're shining again. Does she have any energy cords that we need to remove?
No, not at this time.
Can we fill in her aura around the chakras to reseal it with white light?
Yes, yes, this has been done.
Beautiful. An additional band of light around the aura to protect her.
Yes, yes. An additional band has been placed.
Beautiful. And there is something we can do to make sure that no dark beings will attach again when she is out in the world.
The lifetime that she saw today was very enlightening in understanding where these ones are coming from. So she does not need to, I guess, take those on if one understands it more, then one integrates their own darkness as to not to attract this type of thing, let's just say.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So she would like to know, the guardian of the Lyrans show things before she wakes up,
Mhm.
and she would like him to come back and explain these things for her.
She's making a connection into me. There are things that will have to be explored more in future to do with this, and to do with the connection with the being known as Merlin. There is a lot of history that Merlin has with the Lyran beings, and this will become known, connection that these beings have. And seeing that Merlin is type of angelic creator being as well. And he was with us in the beginning. He was with us in the beginning, seeding Lyra. Merlin was there. He was seeding this. The guardian is letting me know, is letting her know about Merlin, and to investigate this more and more as time goes on, because there is a connection that will be made known. There is a deep story to do with this, and if she goes searching in the right places, she will find more about it. This will require exploration all on its own, to search with the connections and knowing to do with this, and to do with the seeding of Lyra. Merlin is very much like the Gandalf character from The Lord of the Rings, and he pops up through many different galactic timelines in order to seed light and light magic, to weave different parts of the universe together, to create things on a grand scale, and to pull it all together. He is a particular being that is drawn to understand the tapestry of the universe, that which you call magic. And he has been a Lyran being in many, many different lifetimes. And when he incarnated onto the earth plane, he wished to bring back these memories. And he had many visions of his past lives, of the creation of the universe, and he wished to impart this onto the human race when he lived on the earth in the past. He wished to impart these memories onto them, or at least seed this magic onto the earth plane. And he created his own mystery schools that the druids were a part of, and teaching them the ancient ways of the Lyrans and creator angels. From what he learned from his past lives, from what he learned from all of the visions and the travels outside of his body, to meet other star beings. And he taught them all about what happened in Lyra as well. And what's happening with the universe. And how the Dark Ones chased the Lyrans out of Lyra. Began to corrupt planets and galaxies. But Merlin has always been ahead of the game. He is very, very tricky. And he is in here as well. He is in the room with me as well. He smiles. There is a familiar sense that we do know each other as well. There is a familiar sense with her, but I'm allowing that familiarity to take place, to be felt. The Guardian and Merlin are very close to one another.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Is there some way that we can integrate all of this knowledge in her now so that she has this deeper understanding of the connection?
Yes, this is being integrated now.
Very good. Thank you. So that she knows everything she needs to know about that. Very good. She also wants us to explore the Avalon connection and the Guardian's connection to Merlin.
Yes. I have told her about this, but she will need to explore it more in future. Explore it in depth. This is just important information. Important information to the context of what happened on Earth.
And what is the best way for her to explore that?
Through doing sessions like these. She will do another one in the future where this information will come out more. She gets bits and pieces of information as she goes along.
Thank you. And how come she can't get all the information at once?
It would be too much for her, and too much for anyone else who is watching her at this time. It would be way too much information for the Earth plane. Certain information is a time-sensitive release, so we only release as much information that humanity is ready to receive at any given point. It is all divinely timed.
Yes, thank you. She would like to explore the thing that was shown about catching demons with Guardian.
Yes. The Guardian showed her in the morning that There were times when they went on angelic missions together to do things, to yes, well, catching would be the wrong word, apprehending some very dark ones that had upset the balance on a greater scale. So they were removed. And she and the Guardian are part of the removal team of some very, 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 very dark beings. Let's just say they are part of a divine removal team that is sent straight from Source.
Is there anything else you need to know about that?
Call is sent out, and she and the Guardian often choose to respond. There have been many calls in this universe where they have responded. She was just viewing one of those calls, a memory that happened a long time ago, and her and the Guardian. And the Guardian showed this to her, just to let her know. Let her know just a small part of the history that they share together.
Thank you. She would like to know if she's healing her experience around the Orion negative ET Lyran species with the drowned elves.
Yes, she saw her lifetime as one of these beings today. She was one of these beings. She was a queen of their kind, but she was healing. She's healing that and seeing it from the other perspective. She's seeing it from their perspective now. How that has taken place, how they were able to be overrun by dark forces. Originally, they were just like the Lyrans. They started out just like the Lyrans. They were Lyrans, and then they aligned with the reptilians, but they did not realize at the time. They did not realize when they were aligning with this group what that meant. They did not foresee the future as part of this. They were quite innocently aligning with them, thinking that the reptilian side was in the right, in the correct, that they were correct and the other side was not correct. So they aligned with this side without realizing what it meant for them in the future and what they had chosen as a race as a result of this. And they ended up being hybridized with some reptilian DNA as part of that. Just a little bit, but it is a certain type of different type of reptilian that was implanted into their DNA. And that is why they have the textured skin.
Thank you. And why is she being shown these ones in various lifetimes?
To understand the grand design, the grand plan We will all come back together in the end, sharing our various experiences with each other. And we have split off, the Lyrians have split off into many, many different colonies and factions. And then in the end, they will come together once again. This will happen. The humans of this universe, which descend from the Lyrians, they will come back together once again. They will come back into unity consciousness with each other, like how it was in the beginning. And when this day comes, it will be very, very beautiful. And we will feel much love. So even though these ones have been so much on the dark polarity, they are really just playing a role in the universal game. At the end of the day, we will all come back together again, and we will hold hands, and we will talk about sorts of experiences which we had when we were separated away from each other for so long, and coming back together again, all of these different souls. It will be like a grand homecoming.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And were the ones incarnated as men that she had difficult relationships with in her current life?
Yes, yes. She is aware of this. She is aware that in the Pleiadian life, it was her stepfather that she killed. She killed him because he was the one who raped the other woman, and then she was furious about this, so she ended his life. And that there are other ones that she is familiar with, other ones that have bothered her. Yes, even that one. Even that one was she is seeing all of these different men that she has encountered, and that they were part of these men that were using her as a sex slave in the Pleiadian life. These different dark Orion beings, some of them being the bold reptilian hybrids, but most of them were these dark Orion beings, these dark elves. Like the lifetime that we just had, this type of species. Yes, most of them were these ones. You can observe. You can observe as these different ones that have treated you badly in this life were in that lifetime as well. And you can reflect on this. Many reflections will be had.
Beautiful. Thank you. What else does she need to know about that and these beings?
She's healing her relationship with some of these beings that did that to her, that were part of this narrative. She is healing her relationships to them in this lifetime as well, so that she can go forth, because some of them have kind hearts that, or well-meaning hearts that are hidden under many, many layers of hatred and pain. And inside, I'm just showing her that there is still a beautiful soul spark within these beings, but it's just hidden. And you know how to figure out what is hidden. You have unveiled what is hidden so many times before, so this will be no different. You have the gift to expose. So why don't you expose the light of these ones when these men come to you and you feel triggered by them? Why don't you use that gift to expose the light within? Why don't you use this? And you know how to do it. You know how to send out a pulse of light that will touch the soul spark of these beings. So I'm just giving her clues for how to deal with this in the future. How to deal with these ones, that so that she can move on and so that she can integrate and heal, not only for herself, but she integrates and heals for many beings at this time as well. She sends out healing energies to the collective, to the greater collective.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Can you support her in this?
Yes, of course. I'm always there to support.
Yes, of course. I feel that. She would like to know why she has popping knees and if we can heal them today.
The energy needs to flow throughout her body. She will just need to stretch and exercise more. And she did not want to move forward with her life as well. She was stuck for a very long time. She felt very stuck. I'm just going to help to release this for her. Sending healing energy into those knees, knowing that she is moving forward with her life now. It is moving forward a lot. She is no longer stuck anymore. She is no longer stuck. It's just the body that was getting used to this. She's no longer stuck. So this can begin to be integrated on the physical level. This knowing this, that she is no longer stuck.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Can we do something about anxiety and lack of grounding for her?
She will need to take some walks in nature. This will help her. The frequency of the trees with the anxiety and the grounding. It is necessary for her to be amongst the trees. It's very necessary, especially because she is integrating these Lyran lifetimes. It is especially important for her to be amongst the trees. And she gets sad because there aren't as many trees on this planet as there used to be. And she gets frustrated because of that. But I encourage her to go amongst the trees, even if there are only a few trees left. Releasing energy for her to do with this.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I would also like to ask if we can release any more trauma regarding being bullied and the feeling of not belonging here on Earth.
She belongs. She does belong. It is just that everyone in this universe belongs. The only time that you are made to feel like you do not belong is because of beings that do not like themselves. They do not like themselves, so they make you feel like you do not belong. But none of that is true, and you shouldn't listen to them. You shouldn't listen to these ones. She knows that they are how would I say this nicely? They are not living in their truth, let's just say. So she does not need to dwell on this. Anyone who is not living in their truth, they will find their truth eventually, but she does not need to converse with them in order to show them the truth. Just shine your light out.
Beautiful, thank you. I also want to know if we can give her any more healing today. For example, with the problems with base of spine and the womb.
It's being healed as we speak, but I'm just helping her physical self to integrate this much energy into the body, so it will need to be done slowly. And like I said before, she will need to go and have a trip to the spaceship again for an adjustment. And she will know what time that she needs to do that in order to go and to have a bodily adjustment like she did last year when she was taken up by the Pleiadians. She will be taken up again for another bodily adjustment, and this will be very necessary, so this will take place when that occurs.
Very well. Thank you so much. She has also been having issues with relationships. Is there something we can do about that today?
This is something that is ongoing, but lots has been healed today.
Very well. Thank you so much. Is there any final message for this one?
No, just continue to drink water and get a lot of sleep. Just get as much rest as you possibly can while your body is integrating all of these very, very, very big energies coming in. And once again, take some walks so that you can become familiar with the day that you will be agreed to be adjusted once again on the Pleiadian ships.
Thank you so much. Can I ask you to keep upgrading her body and continue with this healing that may be needed over the next 3 nights in her sleep?
Yes, that is fine.
Very well. Is there anything else, or are we complete?
We are complete.